What's up? Idaho 4. The more I think about it, the possibility of Bethany being in the basement in the downstairs bedroom during the time of the unalivings, it could be possible. But I do not believe Dylan was there that night. And Pavarotti's already pointed out the time frame on the Linda Lane footage. You can clearly see DM more than likely leaving with the Uber driver around 2:16 and her returning around 4:19 and then leaving again at around 4:35. And at 4:35, I think it could be possible that that may be DM and BF leaving at the same time there. And what we're going to do in this video is I want you to imagine that you are that Dylan is sitting in the driveway of the King Road house and she is seeing people in ninja masks leave the house, and she's texting and calling BF during all this. We're going to go through the texts, and I want you to imagine that BF is in the basement and they are communicating back and forward. And when I did this, it kind of made a lot of sense. So I'm not saying this is the way it went down, but I'm saying this may be possible. Maybe maybe y'all can fill in the gaps. But with let's just get started. So at 4:17, before the roommates start exchanging texts and calls, we know that the loud thud happens, and we know that it's claimed to be Xana screaming, and then the loud thud, and then Murphy barking. So that's around 4:17, 30-ish. But what's strange is at 4:19, Bethany calls Dylan for 23 seconds. And I'm going to speculate and say that Bethany thinks Dylan is on the second floor. So she calls Dylan for 23 seconds. Hey, Dylan, what's going on up there? It's crazy. Sounds like a massacre. Let's just assume. And then at 4:20, DM calls Xana. And I think Dylan is in the driveway, probably in her car, looking at the house. So she calls Xana, and then 20 seconds later, she calls Kaylee. And then she calls BF for 41 seconds, and they have a short conversation. And then BF calls Xana. And before we get to the BF calls Xana, it might be possible that when DM called BF for 41 seconds, she might have told her that, hey, I just pulled up. I'm in the driveway. What's going on in there? That may be possible. But let's just continue and we'll work through it. So BF calls Xana. DM calls Madison at 4:21. 4:22, BF calls Ethan. And then at 4:22:08, DM to BF. No one is answering. DM to BF. I'm really confused right now. And then 4:22:42, DM texts Kaylee. What's going on? 4:23, BF, outgoing message, Snapchat. Okay. And that might be to Dylan. Who knows? But then at 4:23, BF to DM. Yeah, dude, WTF. Xana was wearing all black. And I think this is a callback to the 4:20:28 that 41-second phone call that they had to each other. I think that's what she's calling back to. It has to be. And at 4:20:28, with the 41-second phone call, Dylan was probably saying, "Hey, Bethany, I'm out in the driveway. I saw people with ninja masks running out, wearing all black, And then at 4:23, we've got BF to DM. Xana was wearing all black. And then DM to BF. I'm freaking out right now. Dylan to Bethany again. No, it's like a ski mask. And she's saying, no, it's not just Xana wearing all black. It's someone in a ski mask. And then BF to DM. Shut the F up. BF to DM. Actually? Like, really? A ski mask? A burglar? And then at 4:23:52, DM to BF. Like he had something over his head and his mouth. DM to BF. Bethany, I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. Bethany the Dylan, so am I. DM to BF. Phone is going to die. Okay. And a lot of people will say, well, that's proof she's not in her room right there. And yeah, and I tend to agree. She's probably in her car. And then BF to DM, come to my room, run, down here. Okay, now it's very possible that Dylan hasn't told her I'm in the driveway yet. And she's still assuming that Dylan is on the second floor, you know. And then we got DM to Ethan. She calls Ethan just for a few seconds there. And then DM to BF. I'm scared though. BF to DM. Yeah. But it's better than being alone. DM, outgoing call. Okay. I think she calls Bethany right here. She's like, the gig is up. Or maybe she lies to Bethany and says, hey, my car is in the driveway. I just got back earlier. You know, maybe she makes up some kind of lie. And she says, or maybe she calls Bethany and says, hey, I ran to my car. Come on. Coast is clear. Something like that, in my opinion, has to be going on. So DM, outgoing call, I'm going to assume that that's Bethany. And she's saying, hey, come to the car. I'm in the driveway. Forget running down there to your room. Come with me. And then DM, outgoing message, Snapchat. And she's probably messaging Bethany. Then at 4:27:47, DM calls Kaylee. She calls Xana. BF calls Madison and twice, and then she calls Kaylee twice. At 4:31 is the last attempt to communicate with the rest of the roommates from BF. At 4:31, she probably leaves the basement door. She probably sees cleanup guy. She might recognize him. She might have an idea of who he is. And she's probably, this is probably where the Bethany saw a naked man running through the woods came from. At 4:31, she probably looked out her window or heard something or was on her way to meet Dylan in the driveway. 4:32, DM texts Kaylee, please answer. 4:34, their BF is in the car. She feels a little safer now, and she opens Dylan's Snapchat. At this time, they're probably both screaming their heads off in the car, and she's saying, go, go, go. And around 4:35, you see them passing the Linda Lane, driving down the road on the Linda Lane camera. At 4:37, BF access Instagram, but then you don't see anything till 10 o'clock. And I would love, when this gag order is over, to see all the phone communication between 4:37 and 10. And I think it will be very telling if we can get that info. And I could be totally off my rocker and totally wrong on this, but it almost makes sense if I think about it this way. Maybe Bethany wasn't in a hotel room. Maybe she was actually in the basement and Dylan was in the driveway and they were communicating back and forth this way. I'll keep working on it and formulating my opinion, but maybe y'all can fill in the gaps. Maybe are we heading in the right direction here? Please leave your comments and opinions and Let me know if this is plausible or not. Just thinking things through. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.